I've always been fascinated about the idea of psychic phenomena. Do our thoughts and feelings affect the world around us, or do they act as a filter in terms of the way that we interpret what's presented to us in this reality? It comes as no surprise, but when I was a kid, I was severely bullied, and that in itself isn't entirely unique. I was physically assaulted, I was verbally insulted by students and teachers for all sorts of different reasons. But I was at the focus of this campaign for many years, and many reasons in itself, I suppose, would be simply the way I dressed, the way I spoke. I had quite a few issues with speaking back in the day. It was my confidence. I was bullied for being run over when I was a kid. I was bullied for being good at art, for not being good at maths at the time. It was bizarre, and it was really more about them than me, I realise now. But at the time, you kind of lost in that moment, really, of anger, feeling like, why me? I don't deserve this. And that anger builds and builds and builds. And it did all boil to a point where I got home one day and walking to my bedroom, I opened the door and it was in the middle of the day. The room suddenly went dark as if it was nighttime, and I saw reality itself, like the room itself, distort. I could smell this kind of burning smell. I could hear this kind of growling noise. It was incredibly threatening, and I ran. Naturally, it's so frightening, and it's something I've never forgotten about all these years later. And I kind of wonder now, like, was that an interpretation of reality? Was that me affecting reality? Because leading up to that point, I experienced some other things. There was some whistling in the house. You could hear voices at times, bangings on tables. And I even saw one evening, with me being sat on my own, watching TV, a fruit bowl sat on the table in front of me suddenly leapt. It leapt off the table with such a force that this fruit bowl that was actually filled with sweets at the time shot across the entire room. It was like a massive explosion. Like, it needed a tremendous force for it to do that, because the fruit bowl itself was actually made of metal and quite heavy. Again, I can't explain that either. So it kind of begs the question, like, what do these events mean about the reality that we currently live in, and also about the way we interpret reality? Again, was that me affecting reality because of my emotional state at the time? Was it the way I interpret reality? Could I have hallucinated those things? Or could I just be making it up? I know the truth myself, but it's up to you to decide. What do you think it is?